Right, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda Civic 2.2 SE. This is a 2010 car, or 2010 model car I should say, because it's got this new style front grille on there. Lovely plate on the car. It's actually a Northern Ireland plate, which you can change to a mainland UK plate if you really want to, but I think it looks lovely on the car. Really lovely condition, just 58,000 miles on the clock, and this particular car has been serviced wonderfully by Honda. It's in really lovely condition. Front of the car, lights, lenses completely clear. Bonnet is very, very clean with only the tiniest amount of stone chipping. It's far, far better than most you'll see. And then to come down the near side of the car first, very smooth and clean in the panels. You can't see any indentations at all on there. Near side front alloy, really, really good. And then the remaining panels down the side, absolutely wonderfully clean. There is one mark on this car which I'll show you because it's the whole point of the video. Rear near side alloy. On the wheel arch there is plastic, so one thing it's just got little scrays which could easily be touched in. But as I said, I do like to pick up on anything that there might be on the cars. Coming around the back of the car, colour-coded rear parking sensors fitted to the car. Also a little single electric tow bar has been fitted to the car. It looks like it's just a little sort of box trailer or something on the back of it, because it exhibits absolutely no wear at all. Then down the off side of the car, as with the near side, just wonderfully, wonderfully clean on the panels. Offside rear alloy, again completely unmarked. And then the remaining panel work down this side is in absolutely gorgeous condition. Finally, offside front alloy, absolutely unmarked. So externally, we're looking at a car that's in really, really lovely condition. Coming to the back of the car now, as you already know, absolutely huge, huge boots. 60/40 fold on the rear seats, and in very, very nice condition. Cleverly, you got this extra little storage area underneath, and if you give that a yank and drop it down, then you've got another sort of 7 or 8 inches of boot depth there as well. That's really clever design. So coming into the back of the car now, there's a full set of original Honda mats in very good condition there. You can see the rear ones. I've just shown here, or showing you here with the rear seats raised in their vertical position, which forms part of this brilliant magic seat affair. Drop them down, beautifully engineered of course by Honda. Just pull the lever up, drop it down. It's as easy as that. With the rear seats down, you can see just how much legroom you get in the back of these Civics as well. And bear in mind, I'm not cheating, because that front seat is set for me and I'm over 6 foot tall. So you still get loads of rear legroom, even with a sort of a gangly front driver rather. Coming to the front now, near side front door card, absolutely clean as a whistle. Footwell areas all very clean, and front passenger seat again in excellent condition. Driver's door card, as with all the others, excellent condition. Footwell area again, all very, very clean and tidy. The driver's seat again, it shows absolutely no wear at all realistically on there. So sat inside the car now, engine's running through this section so you can actually see the dashboard illuminated. Dashboard itself is in beautiful, beautiful condition, and it's the latest style one with the this kind of carbon looking effect, which is much more scratch resistant, as is the plastics around the gear lever and the door handles, but it's been kept really, really, really nicely, this car. If I can just pan to the dashboard for you without snagging the wire, and hopefully you can see there 58,004 miles, literally just turned that today. So the only light you can see on there is the low fuel light, and that is pretty much the view you get as a driver of the dashboard, and it is a wonderful, wonderful dashboard. As I said, the video, in all honesty, doesn't do it justice. It is in beautiful condition in here, it really, really is. Just to quickly show you, quite often overlooked actually, owner's manual pack is here and present with the car, as is very importantly lock and wheel nut key. So finally, just to come under this wonderfully presented engine bay, these are superb engines, literally just been serviced by ourselves. Pardon me. These engines don't use cam belts, they have cam chains, so there's no scheduled change at all on them. It's which saves a fortune in running costs. And then very importantly, they don't have those awful DPF filters either, which is causing mayhem for certain manufacturers. What will follow this video will be a road test of this very car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 2.2 diesel, and it's the SE model. This particular car is registered HIG8052, and mileage at the start of the road test is 57,998 miles. The reason we do the road test is basically so customers of ours get to see the cars we're advertising actually in operation. That way, if there's any issues on the car, we can and we will relay them back to you. It's the very point of doing the videos. We're very well aware that many of our customers come from not just the UK but Europe as well, so the least we can do is go to the time and effort to do this for you. The road test is also done on the very same country roads in this lovely part of Gloucestershire, so hopefully be representative of what you'd feel yourself if offered a test drive. So coming to the engine first of the car, obviously as you'll know from the advert for the vehicle that this has been a very, very well maintained car, and it very much feels like it. Engine starts absolutely instantly, settles to a completely smooth and even idle. These are brilliant engines, so smooth in operation, only realistically driving at low speeds and low gears do you really even know it's a diesel. You know, once you're in sort of second, third, fourth gears, then you know it's so smooth. You could easily be driving a petrol engine car. It's quiet, but it's the way it produces its power. It's so linear. It really builds up power. It's a genuinely quick car. Loads of torque, of course. And obviously the reason most people buy diesels, you know, the fuel economy is astonishing in them. You know, they give very, very high fuel economy figures. Obviously that's all down to driving style as well, but get them up to a high gear early, let the torque of the engine do the work, and then you've got a car that's eminently capable of exceeding 50 miles per gallon. Worth pointing out, there's absolutely no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the vehicle. The only light on which shows the information light up there is the low fuel currently in the car. Engine then feeds to clutch and into gearbox. Clutch on the car, smooth, positive and actuation. Bite point is exactly where it should be in one of these cars. So all in very, very fine order there indeed. Clutch then goes through into the 6-speed gearbox, which I've always maintained is a brilliant gearbox. Not only is it typically tough and long lasting as you'd expect from Honda, it's just the quality of the gear change, which is just a joy to use. You know, Honda haven't just chucked in a gearbox, and you know, because obviously most gear levers now it's a cable actually that goes from here through to the gearbox underneath the car, and on some cars, some manufacturers, they don't really put a lot of effort into the feel and the shift quality of the car, whereas Honda do. This adds to the driving pleasure of the car rather than detracts. So every gear change, it's just so slick. It's got a lovely actuation. Very, very hard to actually describe. But I can't feel any wear in it at all. It feels absolutely as tight and taut as it was when it was manufactured. Steering on the vehicle, a real plus point on these Civics. Track's absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel at all on the vehicle. So all in very, very fine order. But it's got a beautiful weighting to it. It feels hefty on the road, but light at low speeds, obviously for manoeuvrability. But it's just so precise, and as soon as you turn the wheel, the car goes with it. It is really well set up and tuned to the chassis of the vehicle, and as I said, I can't feel any wear through the steering at all. It just feels incredibly crisp and tight. Same goes with the chassis. You know, what I tend to do on these road tests is basically just to do a to listen out rather for any sort of clonks or bangs coming from underneath the car, which is normally just, you know, fairly innocent stuff, but and cheap to fix. But you know, these little like anti-roll bar links and drop links which might chatter away. Sometimes more serious stuff. There's nothing on this at all. You know, you can hear it going over the bumps, but there's none of those secondary noises at all. It rides really, really nicely as well. Don't believe what a lot of the road testers say. It's only the sharpest ridges that catches them out, and because comfort is very subjective. Personally, I hate a car that's so softly sprung. As soon as you come into a corner like this, they keel over and they're wallowing away. This one, even through the corner that's coming up now, its corner's incredibly flat, but the body control is absolutely astonishing. It literally just holds its line, very little movement, and that's much more comfortable than the cars, as I say, that's pitching into corners. So, you know, suspension is a compromise, but I think they've done a brilliant job for those, as you know, particularly those that, you know, enjoy driving still. Brakes on the car, just get around the corner a second, but they're a really good brake pedal on the car. It's basically, as soon as you hit the pedal, it's positive, and there's no pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and it pulls the car down straight and true. It doesn't come sort of left or right. It's all in fine fettle there. Looking around inside the car, it's not been cleaned yet, so it's going to go into the to be valeted and into the workshops this morning. But it's in lovely condition. They are brilliantly made as well, of course. There's hardly a sort of buzz or creak from the interior of the car. It feels really, really solid in here. And of course, this is the later generation Civic, as I pointed out in the walk around video. So basically, you get the different style plastics around here, around the gear lever, and also around the door handles. They're not just for show, they're actually more resistant to scratching than the earlier bright silvers were. Also around the switches here for the ventilation system, and on the other side as well, you have this kind of pseudo kind of carbon fibre look, which actually looks really nice on the car, but it's actually for a purpose. The original one again was this beautiful kind of black plastic which came down and looked fantastic, but unfortunately fingernails and grubby hands would make it look sort of quite tatty quite quickly. Always beautifully assembled, but just it had that kind of grubbiness to it. But that kind of sorted it out straight away. Everything in here works beautifully, but I think this dashboard is a design which is, it was light years ahead of its time. I still think it feels fresh and interesting to sit in. You've got this, but it's also utterly practical. It's, you know, you've got a high up display there for your radio and your ventilation. Likewise to the right, straight in front of me, you've got this high level display predominantly for your speedo. So I can look at the cars directly in front if there's any there, but also keep my speed, read it out the corner of my eye ever so easily without having to take my eyes off the road for a second. You've also got a little econometer and a little rev light there just to sort of prompt you to change up and things like that. Down below that, you've got more conventional but still actually quite interesting display where you've got this kind of hologram style, huge rev counter, information display, and then flanked by your temperature gauge and fuel gauge. Temperature gauge incidentally running at a third, which is exactly where it should be on a Honda car, petrol, diesel or otherwise. As I said at the start of the video, the point of these videos is actually to be critical on them and to pick up on any issues there might be. But given the service history of the vehicle and its condition, I expected nothing at all, and I found nothing at all. It drives absolutely brilliantly, this car. Having said that, if I've missed something on the video, then as always, please don't hesitate, do give us a call.